Hey guys, in this video I'm going to be showing you how to braid someone else's hair. So if you have your mom, your aunt, your sister, your cousin, your friend, if anybody asks you to braid their hair, I'll show you guys how you can do that. And I'm going to be using my very beautiful, trusted helper here, and here she is. She doesn't have a name, but something like Brady or Cornelia maybe. But I'm going to show you how to braid other people's hair using her. And the way I braid is more of like a cornrow rather than a French braid, because I braid outward rather than inward. So if you guys want to learn how to basically do cornrows, then keep on watching. So you want to make sure your hair is brushed out very nicely, and then you want to start to make your part. I prefer combs like this, or you can also use combs that have this point at the end here. But I'm just going to use this. Depending on what design you want, you're just going to go ahead and part your hair. So I'm just going to do a simple straight back braid just for the purpose of teaching you how to braid rather than how to do designs. Okay, so I'm happy with this part here, and I always like to tie away the excess hair that I'm not going to be braiding just to help get it out of the way. I just feel like this makes the whole process a lot easier. So you just simply tie that side, and then now you're going to part the other side. Okay, so now we have both sides parted and tied back. So this is the only part I'm going to be braiding today. And then you also want to make sure you have your hair ties handy. I like these rubber ones. They have other ones that are elastic that are supposed to be better for your hair, but I like the rubber ones like this. Okay, so you want to first take a small portion in the front and part that off. You can either use your fingers like I am, or you can take your comb and do it just like this, but just a very thin front portion, something like that. And then we're going to go ahead and divide this into 3 parts. So 1, 2, and 3. And then just brush through it so you have them nicely divided. The way I start off holding a braid is with my hands like this. So both my thumbs are pointed upwards, and I have my hands gripping the hair. So kind of get your hands in this position. You can have, if you're right-handed, I find that I like holding 1 strand in my right hand and then 2 in my left. However you feel comfortable, you can have them however you want. So once you have your hands in this thumbs up position, you're going to take the strand that's closest to your pinky down here in the opposite hand, and you're going to kind of turn it underneath and grab it with your index finger and your thumb in your dominant hand. Okay, so all I did was the strand that's closest to my pinky, I turned it under and grabbed it with these 2 fingers and pulled it over to this side. Then you want to pull tight every time. Now you're going to do the same thing just with your right hand. So this strand right here that's close to my pinky, I'm going to turn it under, and I'm going to grab it with my index finger and my thumb and pull it over to this side. And once again, pull tight. Okay, so that's the simple part. So just rewind this part back and forth just until you get that motion, because that's the motion you're going to be doing throughout this whole process. Now what you're going to have to learn is how to incorporate the hair while you do it. So now we have that front portion braided. Then the next step is to pull some of this hair in while we do that same motion. So again, I'm going to be taking this strand here closest to my pinky. I'm going to be bringing it underneath and over, but while I do that, I want to add some of this hair into it, okay? So you have your hands in the same position, thumbs up. So thumbs up, okay? So while I twist this strand, that's the strand I'm going to be pulling, I'm going to take my thumb and my index finger, and I'm going to scoop up some of this hair. So in the beginning process, all we did was took this strand and pulled it with these 2 fingers. We're doing that same exact thing, but we're going to also pull some of this hair with it. So watch my fingers. They're pulling, my thumb is dividing this hair like this, and while I swoop that strand up, I'm also going to be pulling this hair with it. So go ahead and just tighten it, and as you do the next step, which is taking this strand here and you're going to be moving it underneath, you're doing the same process. So taking these two fingers, taking some of this hair that's back here, swooping in, taking the strand that was closest to the pinky and pulling it with those two fingers. And again, pull tight. So now you can see all the hair is pretty much divided again, and you can see 3 distinct strands. So we're going to do that one more time. We're going to pull this strand that's closest to the pinky in the opposite hand. We're going to twist it, and while I'm going to be grabbing it, I'm grabbing this hair with it. So it's twisting and I'm pulling that strand as well as more hair in the back. Okay, so again, I'm just going to do the same motion. This strand here, closest to my pinky, I'm going to be grabbing more hair back here with my thumb and my index finger, swooping around and pulling that strand. This is just something you guys are just going to have to get used to, and just replay this clip over and over again until you can get it. And don't be discouraged if the front of your braid looks horrible. I find that's how most of my braids look until I get to the back. Somehow it just works itself out. So don't get discouraged if you look at your braid and you're like, what the heck, that doesn't look like a braid. Because the further down you go, the more it'll fix this front part and it'll start to look like a braid. So I'm just going to keep on doing that same motion. And remember, you want to pull tight each time. Okay, so I went ahead and took that braid out. Now I'm going to show you guys a second way of how to hold your hand. So rather than this thumbs up position, I'm going to show you guys how to hold it this way. So you're going to do the exact same thing. You're going to make a part right here in the middle. You're going to do this exact same thing. You're going to make a small part right here in the front. And then you're going to split that into 3 parts. 1, 2, and 3. And so now you're going to take your hand, your thumbs are going to be kind of facing inwards towards each other. So this time around I have 2 strands in my right hand and 1 in my left. So you're going to be doing the exact same motion, but it's just your pinkies aren't really involved. So you're going to be taking this outer strand here, turning it in and grabbing the strand. Again, I'm going to do it one more time. This strand all the way over here, you're going to be turning it in and grabbing it with your 2 fingers. So it's the same exact process. You're going to be taking the outermost strand, putting it inward, and grabbing it with your 2 other fingers. Now we're going to start to incorporate some hair. So I'm going to be taking this outermost strand, turning it inward, and then with these 2 fingers, once again, I'm going to be grabbing more hair back here while I grab that other strand. Then you just want to divide it. And again, pull tight. So we're going to go ahead and take this outermost strand, turn it inward, and grabbing more hair with these 2 fingers while we grab it. Again, just make sure all your hair is nicely divided. So you just take it and then pull tight. Again, taking this outermost strand, turning it inward while I grab more hair back here and grabbing that strand. So just keep watching this clip over and over again, rewinding it, however, whatever you guys need to do in order to get this motion down. So I'm just going to continue doing that. And this is what the final product looks like. Okay guys, so I showed you 2 ways on how to hold the hair when you're braiding. As you guys can see, the second time around it came out a lot tighter and better looking. But I personally actually use both methods when I braid someone's hair. I start off with my thumbs pointed up, and then as I work further back on the head, I change my hand positioning to my thumbs pointing inward together. So I actually do both methods. But again, I encourage you guys to rewatch this video, pause it whenever you need to, and learn both ways. That way you can figure out which way is best for you, which way makes your braids come out tighter, and all that. You might end up like me and do a combination of both. You never know. But I really hope you guys try this out, and I hope it wasn't too confusing. Believe me, it probably was confusing, but if you stop the video, watch it, keep, working it out, you're gonna learn eventually. That's exactly what I did. I learned from watching my aunt and just practicing. So it's gonna take a few times, but you'll get it. It's pretty easy. You just gotta put in the work. So if you guys like this video, remember thumbs up, and let me know if you guys want any other hair tutorials. I'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to stay bold, beautiful, and blessed. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at The Artistic Lifestyle, subscribe if you want to be notified when I make another video, and check out my last video if you haven't already.